So everything you learned means nothing. Feels good, right? Okay, let me backtrack that a little bit. The basic skills, the concepts, and how to learn, that means a lot. Keep that with you. That is all important. The details that we've learned in this class, right, of, okay, in Microsoft Access, I need to go click on this menu, do that button, that's going to change. You're going to need to learn new skills, new software. But the core skill of, okay, when I get this new piece of software, I need to be able to navigate around and figure out what I need to do. When I'm in a college class, I need to be able to get through it. That is what sticks with you. The particulars, you have to always be working on. Example here, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 2013, information technology. Every single tool, every single, go here, click this, that's out the window. 7 years later now, that is completely obsolete. But the core concepts and the process of how to learn, that still helps me even today. And that helps me a lot. That how to learn piece helps me. I'm in a deeply technical field, so I need to have certifications where I go and take a test and it says, yes, Chris knows how to use this thing. That's not a one-time deal. Even that has caught on now, where it used to be you go out, you get certified, and that's it. You have that for your career. That's a piece of paper you can take with you. It never goes away. The technology companies and the industry knows that we have that technology life cycle, right? Somewhere between 1.5 and 5 years from now, what you learned isn't going to be valid anymore. So all of these certifications I have, I actually need to go and redo them every 1.5 to 2 years. Now, that can be either having to take the exam all over again, or just having to do some continuing learning classes. So again, this is going to depend on exactly how technical you are, what your career path is, or how deep you have to go into this. But really, for whatever you're doing, there's going to be some technology component. So being tech savvy is going to give you a huge advantage in the job market. If you're able to go in and thinking about our Access, our Excel, PowerPoint, Word, those are really useful in a business context. We had some conversations around this where if you are maybe in a medical office, you have paper forms right now that every time somebody comes in, and we know this from being the patient, you have to come in, you have to fill out 15 pages of paperwork, you give that back to somebody at the desk, and the person at the desk takes that paperwork, tries to read your handwriting, and types it into a computer. Maybe you can go to your boss and say, hey, I learned all this really cool stuff in Excel and Access. Here's how we can make that process better. That's going to make you so valuable to yourself, to your company. We can all see how that goes. So we need to work on going forward, leveling up your skills. Number one thing, I hated this term when I was in college, but now I see it, is learn how to learn. Of, okay, I need to do this thing. It's a huge goal. How do I break down the pieces so I can get where I want to go? Keep in mind that technology is always improving, and so you need to do the same. And then, of course, the level of how in-depth you need to go is going to depend on your career goals. The way I look at technology at any of this is there is some business need, there is a goal that needs to be reached. What is the right tool that can get me there. So all of these different technologies that I work with, cloud, databases, software development, I look at that as my toolbox to say, okay, here's what I can do to solve this problem. Okay, so now we need to wrap it up. There are a few things in Canvas. Learned assignment. That one to help you think back and reflect on what you learned in this class. And that will help you prepare for your final e-portfolio. So go all the way back and think about, we did the e-portfolio at the beginning of class. Go and download that back from Canvas. You can go to the submission that you did and actually download that file again. Update your reflections. Reflect on what's happened in class since you made that e-portfolio. What skills did you learn? What was your favorite assignment? What didn't you like? Take the feedback that I gave you in terms of formatting or meeting any of those requirements for embedding an image or a video, all of that, fix that. And then we have this added wrinkle of a virtual presentation. That is somehow doing a narration or a voiceover. Since we can't meet up in class, instead, I want you to record yourself giving that presentation, and the final submission should be your updated e-portfolio with your voice presenting it to me. Go back to module 3, and it's all there in terms of how to do it. So module 3 will give you a refresher on how you record your voice over top of PowerPoint. If you don't have a microphone, if it's technologically impossible for you to do it, talk to me. We'll get something figured out. And then the last thing is an exit survey. Very important to me. I really need that feedback to help make this class better for the next semester. So this is not my first time teaching this class. I took the feedback from last semester and changed things up to make this class better for you. So I need you to help me do that again. Tell me what's working, tell me what's not working. I know we had this big switch to online that complicated things. So if you have comments about that too, awesome. Just it's open-ended, whatever's on your mind. Key thing to keep in mind, it is anonymous. So unless in your comments you say, this is Lanice and I don't like anything you did, I'm not gonna know who's leaving me those comments. And the other thing is, I cannot see any of the submissions until your final grade is posted. So even if I look at it and I figure out based on what you're telling me who it is, it's not going to have any impact on your grade in this class. So that survey, really, I want your open, honest feedback. Let me know what worked, what you would have liked to see different, so that I can make it better the next time around. Please do stay in touch with me. If you don't have a LinkedIn, get one and add me to it. Basically, what LinkedIn is a Facebook for business, Facebook for your career. A good way to keep track of your professional network. So you see here where mine says I have 353 connections. Those are not all close personal friends of mine. Those are business connections from my career. Somebody that I've worked with that I want to keep in touch with in case they know of a job down the line that's going to help me. Networking is a huge, huge, huge thing career-wise. And I can actually tell you that from experience, where I took the same path as a lot of you, where out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I went to a community college first, got my 2-year degree, used that time to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And then I transferred over to VCU, which is same thing as ASU or U of A, just back in Virginia. Graduated out of there. It actually took me 5 years to get my bachelor's. So if you're slowing down, don't worry about it. You'll be okay. And when I graduated, I had a really, really hard time finding a job. It was 2013, and the economy was still trying to recover from all of that fun stuff in 2008, 2009. I actually had somebody who I hadn't talked to in 3 years reach out to me from one of my community college classes. And he was working in a kind of technology job and his company was hiring somebody, and he remembered that we took a programming class together and I had helped him out in that programming class. And I had stayed connected with him. Didn't talk to him all the time, but I had him on LinkedIn, so he was able to pull me up and say, oh yeah, that guy. That's how I got my first job. I didn't apply for that job. There was no job listing. That was somebody who I had helped 3 years ago, reached back out to me and said, hey, why don't you come on down for an interview? I think we can make something work. So really get yourself a LinkedIn, keep your connections, and then it really even is a good job board. So, and add me on there. I want to help you out in life as much as I can. So if you are getting to the point where you need a recommendation letter or anything like that, come back to me, remind me you were in my class, or if I have you on LinkedIn, I'm going to remember you from being in my class. So this is not the last time I want to talk to any of you. So please, please, please do stay in touch with me. You have my email, you have my phone number. Let's keep this going any way I can help you succeed. Speaking of succeed, you have all done it. That is the end of CIS 105. I say the end, but remember, we still have our assignments to turn in.